We're coming to you live for the Built Ford Tough Studio. Boomer Esiason, Greg Giannotti, it's Boomer and Gio on the Fan. Simulcast across the country on CBS Sports Network. And wherever you are in the free Odyssey app, good Thursday morning. Finally, a big deal in this baseball offseason. This was not speculation. This was concrete. Juan Soto to the New York Yankees. Brian Cashman's press conference where he was firing back at everybody, and Hal Steinbrenner talking about how things needed to change and the season last year being awful actually resulted in something. And that is getting one of the best hitters in baseball at 25 years old. Now he is in a contract year. They're going to have to pay him, and then that big free agency deal is going to be a part of this. But hats off to the Yankees right now for getting this guy. And I know we don't know how it's going to work out, and we've gotten excited as Al opened the warm-up show, and he is right. All these one singular players that come here seem to blow up. But as we sit here this morning, this is a really good start for the New York Yankees, and the Mets and Yankees now focus their full attention on the big prize from Japan, the three-time MVP Yoshi Yamamoto, who might get $300 million. Good morning, Boomer. How are you?
Good morning, Jay. Went from $200 million to $250 to now $300 for Yoshi. But, it's interesting. The Yankees now complete new outfield, except for, obviously, Judge.
Yep.
And you put Alex Verdugo out there. You now put Juan Soto out there. You brought in Trent Grisham on top of all of this, who's a really good defensive outfielder. This way you keep Giancarlo Stanton, in mothballs on the bench for just DHing.
Yep.
But, man, what a lineup. What a lineup it is. Now, they had to give up a lot of assets. People don't really care about those assets. They also lost 3 pitchers in the Rule 5 draft. They made the trade, obviously, for Verdugo. So, they are going all in. And if you're a Yankee fan, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Hanukkah, the whole thing. Mm-hmm. So it's a new day in the Yankee world this morning, and Yankee fans should be really excited about this. And then we'll sign Juan Soto next year without giving up any assets.
Yeah, and that is what the Met fan is standing on this morning. That I saw the Evan Roberts tweet. He said, rent in the Bronx, buy in Queens.
Okay.
And that is the thing that all Met fans believe will happen. And they also believe that Steve Cohen is not going to allow the Yankees to get Yamamoto. And he flew out to Japan with David Stearns, which is going for the extra effort, of course, to try to get the pitcher. And he's going to meet Yamamoto with the Yankees on Monday. And then he will meet with the Mets again before making a decision. But Steve Cohen made it clear in this particular offseason that he wasn't going to go crazy with spending, but one thing we know is he is going all in on Yamamoto, and that makes me feel good. But if they lose out on Yamamoto by giving the highest offer and he still chooses to go to the Yankees over the Mets, that's going to make the Mets look terrible. So I think that Steve Cohen's really got to go above and beyond to get Yamamoto because, quite frankly, the Yankees are a more appealing place for someone that's coming over from Japan.
Well, if Yamamoto's agent is smart, you engage with the Mets, and that's exactly what they're doing.
It's actually the same as Tim Boyle's agent, which is crazy. It's amazing.
No.
Don't
even say that. Don't even say that.
It's not.
So anyway, but this is amazing that now you get the Mets involved, especially on the heels of what the Yankees have done here. You just got to think naturally that, the Mets are going to, just ramp it up. They may just be using the Mets. You never know.
Yeah, well, of course. And that's what happens when you're the guy that's known to spend the most money. You got to get everybody involved, which is why it's crazy that Shohei Ohtani just basically gave the Heisman to the entire city of New York and says, I can't see myself playing there. What are you, nuts? Even if you don't think you're going to play here, use those 2 teams to drive your price up at the very least. But
he doesn't have to worry about that. He's got teams on the West Coast that will drive his price up, and one up north in Toronto. I didn't know this, but I guess they have a very large Japanese population up there, so which would be very comfortable for him as well, and it wouldn't be the bright lights of New York. And it's either the Dodgers or Toronto. I don't know who the surprise club.
Or he stays with the Angels.
Yeah, or he stays with the Angels. So or there's one other club. Could it be the Cubs? They seem to be spending a lot of money right now. So. I don't know, man. It's now this is what we talk about when we talk about having fun in the baseball offseason.
Yes, and it is great because the baseball season was bad, and now these off seasons have become more fun than the actual seasons for us because you think about good things happening and you feel like good things are going to happen, and then when it actually gets to the point of playing games, it never does, at least lately. But that doesn't mean that you don't try to get better and try to get a guy like Juan Soto. Now, one of the criticisms I had when Brian Cashman got some of these guys in the previous off seasons at the trade deadlines was the fact that he was getting older players. He was getting oft-injured players, guys like Harrison Bader, Frankie Montas, Carlos Rodon, guys who had histories of injuries, or actually trading for guys that were hurt at the time. And then they got hurt, and then they talked about how injuries were an excuse. And it was like, well, wait a second. You trade for these guys with these history of injury. Juan Soto is 25 years old, and he plays every friggin' game. He played the full complement 162 last year. So you can't look at Juan Soto and what they gave up, by the way. I mean, sure, Michael King and Kyle Higashioka are guys we know. Greg Weissert, who's a local guy we've seen pitch. But, I mean, it is not like they gave up a tremendous amount of assets to go out and get Juan Soto. So this was a big power move that everybody has to love on the surface by Brian Cashman in a offseason where everybody was just all over him.
All right, so the Yankees sent Michael King, Drew Thorpe, Johnny Brito, Randy Vasquez, and Kyle Higashioka. I mean, Michael King is probably the one guy on there that and of course Higashioka. I don't know. I think to me, it's. I mean, if Juan Soto comes here and he's hitting behind Aaron Judge, and Aaron Judge hits another 60 home runs, and Juan Soto follows him maybe with 45 to 50 home runs, I mean, that's unbelievable.
Well, that's what Stanton and Judge were supposed to be.
Yeah, but now you got a lefty in between them.
Yeah,
and then I'm assuming that you think, trying to think how this is going to go. Rizzo should be healthy. You're going to keep. Gleyber Torres.
It seems like it right now, yeah.
Right, you got Volpe, right? So your third baseman is going to be...
Probably Peraza.
No. I think it's going to be... What's his name?
DJ LeMahieu?
Yeah, DJ LeMahieu. You would think... Well, look, they're all going to play.
He's all over the place. He's all going to play, yeah.
Right, they're all going to play. But I would think that on opening day, your infield will be LeMahieu, will be Volpe, will be Torres, and will be Rizzo. And then your outfield will be Verdugo, Judge, and Soto.
Yeah, and your rotation could very well be Garrett Cole, Yamamoto, and hopefully a healthy Rodon is what they're looking for, because that right there at the top three would be huge if they're all pitching and healthy. And I do believe, just from learning about him last year, I mean, Brian Cashman was in the building in Japan when Yamamoto threw a no-hitter last year. And you watch this guy, you watch the highlights, it's just insane what he looks like, the velocity and the movement on the pitches and just all the strikeouts. He's dominant. He's absolutely dominant.
Has he had Tommy John surgery yet?
I don't believe he has.
All right,
no.
So that's coming somewhere along the line.
See, this is how we all think now.
Yes, I know.
This is the problem. We all think like this, and you can't blame anybody for thinking like that because we've seen it a million times.
Well, Tanaka never had surgery.
No, but you're right. He ended up tearing or partial tear of his UCL, but never a full tear, never repaired. So yes. But I think he's going to be a sensation. I think Yamamoto comes here, and this is not going out on a limb, but I think that when you give him the $300 million, it's not like giving $40 million a year to Max Scherzer or Justin Verlander.
No, he's another young guy.
Yeah, right, absolutely, who is also, I believe, somewhere in the range, mid-20s as well.
Yeah.
So, but if I'm him, I mean, and listen, growing up a Mets fan, I want the Mets to get him. But if you're saying all things equal with the money, he's not coming to the Mets. He's just not. The Yankees have, I know Kodai Senga is here now with the Mets, but the Yankees have a long history with Japanese players succeeding here with that uniform. He is the top prize. The Yankees are the top team. They are a global brand, and they really are going to have an advantage if he doesn't care about the whole New York market thing like Shohei Ohtani does. So if all things are equal, He's probably going to choose the Yankees, but Steve Cohen does have that advantage over Hal Steinbrenner when it comes to the bank account. And we'll see how much he wants Yoshi Yamamoto when this thing is all said and done.
You got to also believe that there is a tie to long-term TV contracts and promotion in Japan with this guy, much like there is with Ohtani.
Yeah, absolutely. And more so now
than a whole
than
other business side of the equation, and maybe that's why it is being ramped up to about $300 million.
I mean, and no more than now, right now. I mean, with the digital and all the TV stuff changing. And
did you say digital?
Yes,
digital.
all of that,
yeah, okay.
all of that stuff. I mean, you can capitalize financially, globally, easier now than you ever have been because everybody sees everything now.
Well, the Yankees capitalized on Tanaka when he was here.
They did. They absolutely did. But now with Ohtani and now Yamamoto, I think it gets even bigger and bigger and bigger.
I think the Mets should go after Ohtani, Yamamoto, and you have Kodai Senga, and then you got it all locked up.
Got it all locked up?
Got it all locked up. Why not?
Ohtani doesn't want to play here. Senga is here, and there is a good chance that they get Yamamoto. And maybe that's the only thing that they do this offseason of financial significance, but that would satisfy me if they got him under contract.
Well, I mean, financial significance, you're still paying Verlander and Scherzer.
Yeah, but I'm talking about this offseason in what you're willing to spend is the point. Is it just going to be Yamamoto and the big money, or they're going to look somewhere else? Do they they bring in Blake Snell as well? Does Steve Cohen say I'm going to have restraint and then does not have restraint? But so far what they've done is it's been a lot of minor moves. It looks like they're doing this competitive rebuild with also trying to get the big prize in Yamamoto at the same time. That's what it seems like they're going to do. So if they end up getting them, I wouldn't be holding my breath for them to just go free spending like crazy after that. But then again, you never know. I mean, Steve Cohen last offseason, we thought he was done, and then all of a sudden he got this Correa thing we went nuts over, and he got on the phone and went and got him, and then obviously we know what happened from there, and the deal never happened with the physical. But he's someone that I think he could say one thing in a calm moment, but then he ends up getting like fired up, and he sees the Yankees doing something, and he can't control himself. That's what I'm hoping for. Did you just kill a bug?
I did.
Is it because of the poinsettias?
Yeah, I think so, yes.
So now we got bugs in here.
We do. We got some bugs in here, but it's okay.
I mean, those bugs are lucky. The ones that hung on to the poinsettias, they'd be dead outside.
They would be dead outside. Well, they could be dead in here, too. I mean, does get kind of chilly in here.
Yeah, but not like outside. I mean, it's like 60.
No.
They can survive in 65 degrees or whatever. But then again,
you been watering the plants or no?
Actually, Youssef is on the watering thing.
Oh,
he did
so
it
you
last
passed
year.
it down. Passed it down.
Actually, yeah. The TV said, "Could you have Youssef do it like he did last year?"
Okay, perfect. Yeah, but that one bug screwed up because it was able to get into the warm confines of 345 Hudson and then got too close to you and got squashed.
Yeah.
Just hang out in the plant, man.
Just
you would have been
stay in
fine.
there.
You could have gotten
been...
an extra 6-7 days out of your life, and now you're just squashed by Boomer's hand.
And the size of that little thing, that is like a jungle down there in front of us.
Exactly. Why leave? Really? You got everything you need in there.
Any update on the old Zach Wilson, Joe Beningo, Rob
we'll get to
Saleh
that
stuff
a little bit later.
Nothing.
How about we talk about that a little bit later, as opposed to diving into it now and blowing every topic we have in 15
Well, it doesn't matter.
minutes.
We were all over the place anyway, so it doesn't matter. You got Nick problems too.
Yeah,
I mean, there's a lot of chirping going on with the team. That's a decent basketball team.
That is true.
And there's a lot of guys that are not happy with the way that Thibodeau is using them.
And we'll get to all of it. So why not take a break now?